Hey everybody, my name's Doug Smith, and this is my new YouTube channel, Smith's Music for the Most High. If you don't know who the Most High is, that refers to the Most High God, the creator of everything. Back in the day, I used to do music for the world, but now I do music for the Most High. And I humbly believe, that the music I'm getting, the music that I'm creating comes from Him. So I thought I would do a little intro video telling you a little bit about myself and how I create music, and this might be helpful to young aspiring musicians as well. So let's begin. I've been doing music longer than anything else in my life, 45 years. I started taking piano lessons as a little tot, and I really appreciate my parents for getting me into piano. And if you're a young musician, everybody should do at least some piano. And then I switched over to drums, and I played both. Drums became my main instrument. In fact, about 20 years ago, a little over 20 years ago, I was in this band. It's called Captain Zero. It's a CD from over 20 years ago now. You can actually find these songs on YouTube. It's under Captain Zero, and you can listen to this CD on YouTube. And this was a video we did. Look at that tape, VHS. That is old, right? If you look at that, you can see me there as a young guy, thinking I'm all cool in the world. And then I forgot who some of these people are, but then this is the other band members. And then later on after that, I had, I was in a band with some of these guys in the same band. We had a female singer. The Captain Zero band was all guys. It was aggressive, kind of bluesy rock, funk. Somebody said, "Man, you guys went hard." And I'm like, "Yeah." And then as we got older, we found a female singer, and we had a band called Ravenous Eve, and that was really good. And I've been in musical projects all my life. I mean, I've probably left my mark on easily around 200 original pieces of music. I never did make a living at it, though. I made some money, but I was never able to make a living at it. I always had a day job, and for you young musicians, there's nothing wrong with having a day job. It actually gives you a steady income. It allows you to buy the musical equipment you need. And how much music is really done Monday through Friday, from 7:30 to 4, right? And when you're young, you can practice all night and go back to work the next day. Now, at this age, I can't do that as much. But that's kind of a background. That's my background. I'm actually happy that I'm not doing music for the quote world anymore. The music industry can be quite, we'll just say, rough. And in my opinion, it's not worth it. And the beautiful thing about the internet, this thing called the internet that's been around, you can do your own music. You can do your own music, and with the computers and all the recording software, you can do your own music, put it up on YouTube, like I'm doing, and you don't need the entertainment industry. And I think you'll be much happier, as I am. And you don't really need to go to a college to learn music either, because you can go to YouTube and learn all the basics. And just requires a lot of practice. Right? I used to practice all the time when I was young. Anyway, in front of me I have a electronic drum kit from Roland, and I'm not sponsored by them at all, and I bought this used. I actually prefer acoustic drums, but I can't really play them in my apartment here. But this kit, and I bought it used, so hey, times are tough these days, right? People don't have money to spend on thousands of dollars on musical equipment, but if you practice, you don't have to. Right, you can use this is a relatively cheaper model of the Roland drum set, and it's not perfect, but it does the job. And I'm pleasantly surprised that it works with GarageBand. So sometimes when I write a song, I start with a drum beat, right? And then I will add stuff on top of it later. So here's an example of something I've been working on. It goes something like this. It's kind of like a marching beat, and I'm hoping that maybe a rapper will put their lyrics over it, right? And maybe Brother Bronze or Brother Shar. If you don't know who those guys are, they're both very, very talented artists and rappers and music producers, and they know how to use. They do it new style, right? I still do music old school. I'm not. I'm kind of technologically challenged, so I don't actually record here, the final product. I use a recording engineer. His name is Cameron Halsey. He's in the LA area, very close to me. If you didn't know, I live in the LA area. I live in LA. Okay. But what I do here in my little musical den here is I record what I can on GarageBand for demos, so I get my parts down. All right, so here's something I've been working on the drums for this one song. It goes something like this. Okay. So I'm recording that, and I have a lyric hook for that. That'll be for another time. I don't want to go into that. So you can start doing music that way, right? And let's go to the next thing. Another instrument I really like to use for certain things is this Roland Hansonic 10. And this guy is probably about 15 years old. It does not work with GarageBand. Of course, there's somebody out there who's probably more savvy at GarageBand, can probably figure out how to make this work with GarageBand. But what I do with this guy is I just send it through the speaker back here and send it through a microphone, like they do with guitars and stuff. But this is a cool thing. It's a hand drum. You got conga. This thing really comes in handy. This instrument, if you want to play all different types of, and it has tons of different sounds and percussion. However, when it's at all possible, I like to record on the actual acoustic or more instrument. And I know Cameron Halsey's studio, he's got all the instruments in there. So I use this, but I have actually done final recordings with this instrument right here, and it's pretty cool. All right, so that's another thing that I use, this percussion, hand percussion instrument. All right, so now we're going to go to the piano. This is an old, it's a full 88 key keyboard. It's a 20-year-old Yamaha S80, and it's getting beat up, but I just can't get rid of it just yet. You kind of get used to your instruments. It does not work with the modern GarageBand. I can't get it to work with it. Okay, so I do have a cheapy keyboard that does work with GarageBand, but I like practicing my parts on this and writing stuff on this, and then again, using. I'll use the other keyboard to actually record the parts. And of course, when I do the final performances, the recordings, again, I use Cameron. And I'm open to using other guys too, but right now Cameron has all the instruments in his studio. One of the most important things in doing music is to be around, don't ever forget, be around positive people. That's one thing I learned about doing music in quote the world. There's a lot of backstabbing and a lot of, it's, you know, I mean, it's a lot of jealousy. And you got to be careful of that. People, you know, people trying to crawl over you. They want you to stay down here. They, you know, all this stuff. That can be a problem, and it can weigh on your psyche. So always gravitate to other positive musicians. And I consider myself a total team player. I love to work with other musicians. And since I do not play guitar or bass, if there's any musicians out there that want to do music for the Most High, and especially if you're a guitar or bass player, you know, hit me up, because we can do a lot of good stuff. If you're a rapper and if you do music new school, where you take all the samples and put them together, that's a whole art in itself, you know, and you want to maybe do some work with me, yeah, hit me up, of course. But got to be positive people, got to be backing each other up, helping each other work hard to make this thing work. One of the most important things, and somebody told me this, when you write a song, especially like on a keyboard or a guitar, they say if you're trying to think of a melody line, think of a conversation. And so this new song that I'm pretty much done with, I just need to go in and you know, record it. I took that advice and I started thinking about this as, you know, somebody talking to me. Right? That's like a question. Where are you going? Right? And then the answer to that is, I'm going over here. And you just came up with a melody line. Right? So that's a trick you might want to try if you're a young fledgling aspiring songwriter, right? Think of a question, right? And that's what started this song I'm going to play for you in a little bit here, or I'm going to play you a snippet of it. It was that concept. And then you want to figure out what key that is in. Okay, keys, scales, modes, they're all the same thing. They're a group of notes that you can play in a song, and you avoid the notes that you can't play in the song. And then you just start toying around within that key, what works and what doesn't. Okay, so it's very important if you're just starting out to work very hard at knowing your major scales, your minor scales. If you're going to do blues music, your blues scales, and you know, these are just, again, scales, keys, modes. They're all the same thing. They're just a group of notes that work for a song. Okay. So I figured out that this key was, I think it's called D. It's a D mode. I forgot the actual name for the mode, like D Dorian or D Mixolydian. Kind of. Right. Those are basically the notes that I have to work with. So that note right there is out, right? That note will not contribute to the song. You know, when people go, oh, what the heck is that? So that's how you start. That's one technique you can use to start a song, knowing what notes you have to work with and what notes you can avoid. Now, the jazz guys, when they, you know, the old school jazz guys, when they're doing the, you know, all those crazy notes on the sax, but they'll tell you that you got to learn to play in before you can play out. That's a common jazz saying. And what they mean by play in, you got to learn to work within the key that you're writing the song. And then if you want to play some notes that are outside of that key that are what they call dissonant and a little bit crazy, but it works, then you can do that. But most pop music and stuff like that, you don't play notes that are out of the key, usually. All right. So that's, you know, and you can go on YouTube, and there's teachers on YouTube that teach you all your scales, your major, minor scales, and then you just got to practice them and work out your fingering, whether you're playing guitar or your saxophone or piano, so you know all your keys. I think it was either Charlie Parker or I forgot. It might have been Charlie Parker. He said, once I learned my 12 blues scales, I was ready. Take that for however you want to take it. But, you know, so based on that, I came up with this song, and the lyrics came later, and my voice is a little bit raspy because I still need to practice my voice. I'm not a professional level singer, so I still have to practice my voice. And I was in the car driving, and I still look like an idiot. Hopefully nobody was looking in the window, but I'm singing these goofy vocal exercises. So even at my age, I still practice. It's never, there's always things to learn about music and whatever endeavor you're doing. All right, so here we go. Here's the new song I'm working on a little bit. Hopefully it goes all right. Oh, one more thing. Metronome. I've had this metronome since I was a kid. Right, you can probably pick these up at a store or on Amazon for $10, right? It's also good to know what tempo you want your song to be in, right? And that can always come later. And practice it in that tempo so you can be very exact, right? Every note you want, if you're getting ready to record a song, every note's got to be, you got to know how every note fits around the beat. And that is also a trick to practice, things to practice. All right, but here we go, and we'll end up with that. So you guys, here we go. This is a new one. This is the beginning of a new one. So that was basically the first verse and a little bit of an intro. But the song is complete and it'll be out soon with instrumentation. This gives you an idea of what I'm all about, and if any young aspiring musicians got anything out of this, hey, that's great too. This is Doug Smith, Smith's Music for the Most High, and definitely please like and subscribe, or don't like. And there will be more music and videos coming, and if anybody wants to collaborate, and you're down with the Most High, let's get it. All right. Have a blessed one.